Hi everybody, thanks for watching this video about virtual machine high availability. In this video I'll show you how Red Hat's hyperconverged virtualization solution helps keep your VMs up and running when bad things happen. For example, what would happen to your VM if its host lost power, or network became unavailable, or its iSCSI or NFS storage weren't available? Well, if you've configured your VM to be highly available, then your VM would be automatically restarted on another host in your cluster. Let's get started. The first thing we need to do to create highly available VMs is to properly configure our hosts. Our host should have power management configured. If you haven't previously set this up, you'll see an orange exclamation point next to your host status icon. Power management is a mechanism used by the Rev Manager to query a host power state and either power a host on or power a host off if it's necessary. As you'll see, configuring power management also requires the selection of a fencing agent. I like to use the IPMI LAN fencing agent because it's supported by almost every server manufacturer. Alternatively, you could use a Dell, Cisco, or HP specific fencing agent if you need it. To configure a fencing agent, we just need to supply some credentials and specify the type. Please be sure and test your settings before saving your changes. If you see a power on result, then you can move on to marking your VMs as HA. Making a VM highly available is as simple as editing the VM, showing the advanced options if necessary, and checking the box for HA. The VM lease and resume behavior settings control what happens if there's an issue with your storage connection if you were using NFS or iSCSI. If you have lots of HA VMs in the cluster, you can prioritize their restarts by using the priority setting. And you could also install a watchdog device into the VM to monitor for blue screens of death or kernel panics. With our host configured for power management and our VM marked as highly available, we're ready to simulate some failures. First, I'll simulate a power failure. Before I cause an outage, I'll start a service monitor in my terminal. To simulate a power failure, I'll first check to see where my VM is running. From the virtual machine page, I can see that my VM is running on host RH-Client2. I'm going to log into that host and power it off forcefully. You'll notice that I'm logging into the host using its IPMI console. Dell and HP refer to this as their DRAC or ILO consoles. Causing the host to shut down abruptly without waiting for any VMs to migrate or other processes to exit cleanly is done by putting the --force at the end of the power off command twice. I'm going to move over to the event log to see what happens next. When the Rev Manager detects an unresponsive host, it'll wait for a few seconds to see if the issue resolves itself. If the issue isn't resolved within a few seconds, then Rev Manager will issue a series of power management commands to stop or shut down the host, and status commands to make sure it's really off. The power management command to stop the host ensures that we don't corrupt the VM by trying to run it on two hosts at the same time. You'll see that the VM is restarted and our services are available again from my terminal. But that's not all. In addition to restarting our VM on another host, the Rev Manager will also restart the host that had an issue. If the host is able to restart and the original issue that caused it to become unresponsive is resolved, then the host will automatically rejoin the cluster. That's it. You can see that the VM marked for high availability is automatically restarted on another host in the cluster. Thanks for watching.